Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patients. We are a Dota 2 podcast. I'm Cyphus, that's Roland.
Hello.
You gotta do the hey.
Is anybody out there? Just none of you can hear me.
I hit my funny bone so hard just now. Oh, it's still bad, dude.
I don't know, because it's a funny feeling.
I don't know
when
why
you
they
hit your
call it
funny
the
bone. Because it's a funny feeling.
I think it's because people laugh when they get hurt.
Because it's like,
That
ow.
was painful.
Ow.
But no, it was my knee, actually.
So can we just get some shit out of the way? Because a bunch of people were asking. I
yeah.
didn't buy a BMW. I bought a Camry. Because its gas mileage is insane. It's a great car, and it was like $70,000 less than what I wanted. And we decided we were buying a house. So I needed to go with a more economical car.
Yeah.
Even though Denny was like, it's a grandpa car, that's a good looking car.
No, yeah, I was surprised. The body on those, is that a 2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, the body on those 2018 Camrys, it's a lot better than.
And it has an 8-speed, and I can pretend that like I'm driving in a manual.
I'm curious about the 8-speed.
You should try it.
I want to see.
You don't believe that it goes up to 8?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, it says
don't,
S1,
like
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
okay.
You can take it for a drive.
We'll check it out.
Just so long as...
I just can't imagine it boggles my mind that they would put an 8-speed in a 4-banger.
Well, it's the sport edition. It's the XSE.
Yeah, but the sport usually just means that it gives you that sport driving ability where you can manually shift the gear. Well, not manually, but kind of manually shift the gears. That's what the sport.
I
usually
can,
means.
It just won't let me downshift if it's bad for the engine. It'll go
right.
beep, 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 and I'm like, oh, it's like, oh, okay. But anyway,
Well,
I did that.
Shifting.
We're building a house about 15 miles away from where we are now. It's a nice neighborhood for Charlie to grow up in, and that is it. I'm sorry that episode came across so fucking prudish. It was lame. I got a car, whatever. It's a car. It's fucking drives.
No, I like talking about cars. It's a one dude thing that like I've slowly, and I'm not even I'm not a big car guy even.
It's a car. I took it out to my grandpa, who is a huge car guy, and he's like, he didn't even want to look inside. He's like, pop that hood.
Yeah,
and he's like, ooh, you could eat off that. And like he's like, that is beautiful. Yeah. He's like, look at the engine, look at the engineering that went into this. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't even care about what was in the car or what the car looked like.
No, that is what's fascinating about cars.
He just wanted to see the engine.
What's fascinating about cars is what we've managed to achieve from an engineering perspective. That's why I always told you, that's why I even like.
And he talked some shit on Ford. And he talked some shit on everything else and this is just my grandpa, and he's that way. But he's like, Ford, you open up, you don't even know where your air filter. And he's like talking like all these, where's the car? The carburetor's in the bed. It makes no sense. They just don't know what they're doing when they're building engines over there.
Okay, whatever.
But this is my savant grandpa. That literally, like, I could be like, 1982, February 3rd, what day of the week was it? And he's like, Tuesday. I was like, oh, cool. And he was like, well, what was the weather like? And he was like, oh, man, it was like really cold that day for some reason. Like he is literally a savant, and he doesn't realize it. And I'm constantly like, you're like a savant. And he's like, he takes it like in a wrong way. I'm like, no, it's a cool thing to be like, if my memory was like yours, like I want a memory like, it's kind of like LD with like recalling games where he's like, there was a game 7 years ago where they did almost this exact same thing. It looks like it's coming, like he has like, but
that is one of the most impressive things about LD, though.
Yeah, is his recall
with games.
It's like total games. Recall. Yeah. You know what I mean? So anyway,
all right, Dota.
Putting that all
Dota.
away. I have the land plague too.
Yeah,
I'm still sick from TI. By the way, once again, it was so great to meet everybody. What an amazing time! Literally the best vacation I've ever had in my life. It's going to be hard to live up to that vacation. All I can hope for is that
I'm looking forward to TI8 being just as good.
Well, if we're not staying at the Belltown Inn, it's not going to be just as good.
We'll save our pennies and do it right this time.
Dude, I saw the Marriott because I was walking with Shrek, and we walked right past the Marriott, and I was like, garbage. in comparison to the Belltown Inn.
Yeah.
Well, the Marriott was the closest hotel to Key Arena. Belltown,
that Inn at Queen Anne's is actually the closest. It's right across the street, and that place actually it looks like an old school kind of a cool joint.
Well, Belltown Inn was excellent. If you're listening, Belltown Inn, awesome, great for you, awesome. You guys have a great operation. Also, Gamma Ray Games, big shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
Apparently, a bunch of people are going into Gamma Ray Games in Seattle and talking about us.
Which we appreciate.
The owner emailed us and he's like, "You guys not only brought a big night, but
whoever the Aussies were that went in the day after the meetup to tell them that they were there because of Defense of the Patients, that we love you guys because that
and he's
that
like,
made us look really cool.
yeah, so we're really throwing our name out there in Seattle. You know what I mean? And yeah, just God damn it, living the dream, living the life.
Yeah, it was a great time. So I wanted to I want to just talk about Dota today.
Yep, that's why I got all that shit out of the way.
Yeah, I have a lot of Dota. So I so many stories to tell you. So one, I got back and I realized like that was the longest I'd gone since even that was the longest I'd gone without playing Dota since even that little like break that I took, because that break that I took was like 10 days off from Dota. And the last game I had played was actually a Friday night. I looked it up before we left for TI. So I hadn't played it all that Saturday. I didn't play it all, obviously, the following Saturday because we just got home. I couldn't play Sunday because of just crazy catching up, getting ready for work stuff. Didn't play Monday. Didn't play Tuesday. It was Wednesday that I finally sat down and was able to fucking play a game again. And I felt so rusty.
Yeah.
I went into the safe lane and I was ready to fucking last hit. And I felt crazy rusty. And it was that game
the
that
mouse
we played.
feels weird.
Yeah, the mouse did feel weird. The screen didn't look like how I felt like I remembered the screen looking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was just really, really odd. And it took me 10 games to get back to where I felt like I was before we left. And
I haven't played that many since we've been back. I haven't even played 10 games. So.
So I got my last 7 that I needed on my solo.
Cool.
So that I could get my 40 games and lock in the 3K. And then I immediately lost a double down and dropped down to 2950. But I've been, and I started that, by the way, at 3075. So I'm down like 125 MMR on that international rank that's going to become my ranked MMR. And I don't know, I guess I cursed myself because I've been talking about how blissful my 3K life has felt the last little while, and I've been getting hit by some trolls. I got one of those guys who and this was earlier today actually. I got one of those guys who he wanted to go mid, and our high MMR player who was like 3200 had placed himself mid before this guy, and this guy had put himself there mid just after him. And I always hover over Jug because I want to avoid the AM culture, you know, that Prouds talked about. You know, you're always an asshole if you're the guy who hovers over AM in the safe lane. Mm-hmm. But I want to hover over somebody who's like obviously a carry. Like obviously I'm going to play a carry. I'm hovering over Jug. Jug is a carry. I don't mind if I have to pick like second or third. You know, I'm down to do that even. So I'm hovering over the Jug. The guy doesn't get his mid lane. He picks Jug and throws himself in the safe lane, even though I'm hovering over the Jug. And I said, and I said to him, because I'm no longer going to be afraid of just saying things to people and letting them know about their behavior. And so I just told him, I said, hey man, I'll support, but this is a great way to tilt a teammate, like before the game even begins. And his response to me was, taco, ? Taco? And I realized, like, oh, this is the kind of guy I'm dealing with, like, right at the start of the game.
Okay, tangent. Sorry, tangent alert. These people literally go out onto the streets. Like literally, like these internet trolls are real people.
Yeah.
And we saw the first time of them assembling in Virginia. Like, I'm not even shitting you.
I
like,
agree with you
that guy, no, like, there's so many stories where they're like, this. We just thought he was just an internet troll, but nope. These internet trolls are empowered by their trolliness to the point where they're going to go dress and carry around tiki torches, dude. You guys are lame as fuck. I hope you know. If any of you listening carry around tiki torches and went to that or agree with any of them, I promise you, like, you can listen to the show, I guess, because I can't stop you, but I hate you. I really do. I have very strong feelings.
You have no place here or in our community.
Yeah,
go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, definitely go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, no, so this is. I'm glad this is the tangent you wanted to go down, because this is like
these people like literally exist.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I just think they're like fake. Like they're just being dicks on the internet. They live in their mom's basement, and they may live in their mom's basement. And whatever, if you live in your mom's basement, that's not. I guess that's just kind of like a way of saying like, you're not like trying to better society.
I'm in my grandma's basement for the time
I'm
being.
going to be living in my employer's basement while our house gets built. So
basements
I guess,
are cool, folks.
I mean, for all of those people that have this pent up anger that they feel like they need to take it out on the internet, I'm scared of you now. I thought you guys just existed on the internet, but no, you like rally with guns and stuff. Like, you're dangerous motherfuckers. And we don't like you guys. And like, hopefully all you guys end up in like privatized prisons or like Guantanamo Bay or something.
I know you're putting a slightly humorous spin on it, but yeah, it is disturbing. It's very disturbing to see.
I'm not meaning to. Maybe it's my tone, but like, we saw a manifestation of internet trolls.
Yeah,
like in real life.
Well, it's so funny that this is what the web and anonymity has allowed. That it
echo chambers, dude.
Yeah, and it allowed for people to realize that they weren't alone, and then further give in to things that society otherwise would have hoped to have shame out of you, because like there is an element of society shaming that's maybe good in that, like, I want to shame you if you're going to be a racist
you can't go out on the street and say certain words or else you're going to get your ass kicked, or at very least you're going to be like, hey, you
pariah,
don't say that, you fucker.
Or at the very least you're treated like the pariah that you should be. But unfortunately now there's a community,
but now there's enough pariahs where who's the pariah, you know what I mean? It's a crazy place we live in. Also, I know we've been avoiding this for a long time, but I feel comfortable enough saying this now. We all agree, right, that like Trump's like the worst thing that's ever happened, right?
No, his response to
I don't even care his response to Virginia.
His response is that's the problem. That's the problem.
Sure,
there wasn't enough.
But there's like a shit ton of
and there was an equivocation of counter protesters, people who were protesting racism.
I know this isn't Dota.
People who are racist,
and I'm gonna get this out of my system really quick. Okay. But like,
I don't want to go. I didn't want to spend too much time talking about it.
I didn't talk about Trump for a really long time because I was like, all right, whatever. You know, we lost. That's okay. We got Trump. Let's hope for the best in 4 years, whatever. No, now I think we all realize this is bad.
We don't, though. Not everybody will agree with you.
Ooh, really?
Yes, not everybody agrees. The majority of people who voted for him feel like he was right with his. Anyway,
can we give some plugs on some news places that they could go to?
No, because this is an area I'm with you 100%.
I'm okay to lose listeners on that. Like, I am honestly okay to lose listeners.
I don't want people to feel here's the thing: is I don't want to ostracise people.
I don't want to
ostracize. That I feel like
I want to educate.
That particular element that he more or less didn't condemn outright.
Oof.
And
I'm sorry.
I feel like that.
I just feel like we're getting to the point where we're like, okay, so everybody agrees, right? Like, he's bad. He's bad, right? Like, he's bad for the country. I guess we're not there yet. So let's Dota.
I do want to talk about Dota.
I think we can all agree.
But no, like Charlottesville, I think is something you can discuss, like, because that is a terrible thing. The racism, no matter what your
what's terrible is that they're losing their jobs. These white supremacists, they got pictures taken of them, and that's just awful. That they're losing their jobs.
So here's where I want to bring.
I'm sorry, I'm just still really angry.
I know. I want to anchor everything though. Charlottesville is fine to discuss, no matter how you feel about like whether the Robert E. Lee statue should be taken down or not. I don't want to get into the debate with that at all.
Neither do I.
But the protesters that showed up that were the white nationalist supremacists, KKK members, neo-Nazis, those guys are bad guys.
They are bad people, you guys. They are literally bad.
And that whole event does seem to have like it almost feels like it's bolstered something online. And
I'm seeing it in my games.
Dota.
Yeah, right. That's where I wanted to bring it back to.
I'm glad you did that, because I had this game earlier with a streamer, and I'm not going to mention his stream because this guy does not fucking deserve any amount of notoriety or infamy from just his name being mentioned. But I was in this game with the guy, and I plopped myself down in the safe lane. I accidentally, because I always mad click to grab that safe lane, because that's what I want to do. I'm trying to practice for the AD2L team. I'm only playing cores these days.
Sure.
That's where I'd like to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm rapid fire clicking to get down in the safe lane, and on my way up, I accidentally click, and it moves my icon over to the jungle. He pops his icon there. I pop my icon back, and he says, "Nope, I'm here first." And and he says, sorry, man, sorry, green, or whatever my fucking color is, because it's how everybody refers to each other in the chat initially. He's like, sorry, but my icon's here first. I'm going to be playing the safe lane carry. And it tilted me, honestly, more than it should have initially. It made me kind of angry. I was like, God, like, I was there first, and I almost, like, started typing, like, obviously, dude, my icon was there first, and I accidentally clicked somewhere else.
It's so trivial.
But it was so trivial. It's just like, fuck it. I saw somebody go to place their Omni Knight down there. I was like, I'll play Spirit Breaker. I'll have a fun game where I roam around and get kills with Spirit Breaker. So be it. And that's what I did. And we won the game. But this guy, he was on the mic constantly, and I didn't talk on the mic because I was already feeling a little tilted with the guy. And he was one of these guys who, like, he knew everything about Dota, and he wasn't even the highest MMR on the team. Like, he was telling everybody what to do, where they needed to go, why you couldn't roam right now, why you couldn't be in this lane. He was giving all that kind of sagely advice to everyone in the 3K bracket. And I was just like, okay, whatever. At one point, he was like, Spirit Breaker, you got to charge right now. You got to charge right now. And I'm on cooldown for Charge of Darkness. I had charged to get back into lane. I was trying to position myself to get a kill. And he's pinging the guy. And I hop on the mic and I'm like, it's on cooldown. Chill the fuck out. This is the first thing I've said on the mic. And he goes, hey, man, you got to understand where I'm coming from. I don't know who just speaks Peruvian on this team. I don't know who all these Peruvian assholes might be on the team. So you got to forgive me. I didn't know.
I didn't know that you were one of us?
Yes. It was like that kind of
wow.
So he says that to me, and then we end up winning the match. And I've been going down this weird hole lately where you know how like people fall into like Wikipedia holes?
I fall in, all sorts of...
like
Wikipedia, and then you click on a link where you're like, whoa, vibranium. What is that? And then, vibranium was using this.
And then before you know it, you're reading weird conspiocy theories about what happened to Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was looking at vibranium.
There's an R and an N in Amelia.
Earnhart.
Okay, thank you.
Earhart.
Earnhart. Amelia Earhart.
Anyway.
Come on.
So...
And she's still alive today. Come on.
So
she made it.
But I've been falling into these like similar types of holes where I'm looking into my opponents, and it started with a game a couple of days ago where I played with this guy who I did get the safe lane, and I did play a safe lane carry, and his comment in the chat was, I was like, hey team, what's up? Doing my friendly thing. I always try to turn everybody on our side initially in the chat, and I'm like, hey team, what's up? That's all I say anymore. I don't do anything else. I just say, hey team, what's up? And he says, well, I'd be feeling a lot better if it wasn't a fucking 2K or if it wasn't a fucking 2K carry and a fucking 2K mid. And the average MMR in this game is like 30-25. I'm sitting at like 3,020 or something like at this point. This is before I drop below my 3K mark. And I told him, I was like, well, not to mince words.
You were that guy, but yeah.
I was like, I'm 3K. And he's like, I show 2851. Because my regular solo still says that, and I display it. And I was like, yeah, that's on my regulars. Like, I've got my 40 games. This will be my MMR. Don't worry about it. It was like, I play a lot of core. I'll be solid, I promise. And I just trying to be as friendly as possible with the guy. He was my first like wiki hole that I fell into looking into this guy, because after the match, which we lost and did not go well, he was of course shit talking the entire time and telling and then I had to mute him, and then he just telling me that I'm a 2K scrub and I'm a worthless piece of shit, and like really going derogatory on me, and never like hey, you should have built this, or oh man, it would have been nice if you built this. It's just like straight personal attacks. So I muted the guy. Fuck him. So then I started looking into his like history and seeing where he is, and you can pull him up on Dota Buff, and his MMR in Dota Buff is 2600. And he's talking to everybody like they're all shit. And what he does is he displays his party MMR, which is like 3849, his beefed up party MMR, because I'm sure he's got some 5K buddies that he plays with. Yeah. So I had that. But then the racist guy, the guy who told me that he didn't know if they were, we were Peruvians or not. The hole I fall into with him is that at the end of the match, he links to his Twitch stream to let everybody know where they can go check out his Twitch stream. I immediately go to the Twitch stream and check it out. And I see him sitting there patting himself on the back for how well he did as carry, and he's good. It's this is all, it's safe lane. His stream is titled Safe Lane or No Lane. And
how many viewers?
Oh, like five. That's why I don't want to give him any fucking attention whatsoever. Okay. But and he's talking about how he's throwing around all the words you don't want to throw around. All these fucking retarded Peruvians getting fucking triggered in their matches. And like he's no joke. Like he's going like, and these fucking retarded fuckers, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. If you want to climb, there are 3 heroes you play. You play Drow if your team comp will permit it. You play Sven if your team comp won't. And then you play Ursa if Sven and Drow both get banned, and you absolutely have to hope for the best. Because that's every Dota game. And he's talking about everything he fucking knows. He's just laying it all out.
Who are the 5 people that have time to listen to that?
God, who the fuck? Well, I guess I was one of the 5, so there were 4 others.
But you were there at a morbid curiosity.
Yeah, and he goes into the next match, and that's what this guy's doing. Is he is spamming these heroes, and his whole I was 3.9K, but he isn't even the highest MMR. Like again, yet I'm watching his next game that he immediately goes into.
I don't care about that as a qualifier.
Me either, but they do. That's why it's interesting to look at. You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting to look at these guys who are being these Dota sages, ascribing so much fucking knowledge and potency to their MMR, and then seeing somebody be like, it would be like if you were in a match and you were talking about how you were 3.9K, but you're not.
At one point. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not. Like, he's not
I was
anymore.
never 3.9. I was 3.85.
Regardless. But you know what I mean? Like, what a douche you would be if you were in a match going,
3.8K.
I know what's going on.
Yeah. And it's like, then why are you here? You've obviously... Yeah. That would actually be bad if I were to tell
But I couldn't believe it. I'm watching this guy out of morbid curiosity, and I'm just watching him be a racist, a bigot, and just a complete fucking asshole.
Do you know, I read an article about bigot today. You know where that word comes from? By God. And that's where bigot comes from. By God. Because look up the root of the word. Okay. The root of the word, it comes from by God, meaning that most people who were bigotrous, I believe that's a way that you can say bigot, were people who worshipped a certain sect and that were very by God. And by God means that, you know, whatever you do that isn't by God is wrong. Thus, a couple thousand years later, the word bigot comes along. And now, even people who are by God...
Oh, no, it's a religious hypocrite.
Oh, a religious
hypocrite.
Oh, religious hypocrite.
Yeah, it's word, from a French word that meant religious hypocrites. Okay. So, I mean, you're kind of...
Yeah. Well, I read an article that why it turned into bigot is because it was by God. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
That makes sense. Religiously,
but dude, the people I'm getting, it's not MMR. It's like some of the names, you know. Some of the names that I'm seeing are really scaring me because, it's okay. It's really scary because I feel like what happened in Virginia is now empowering more people on the internet to bandwagon onto that, and so even in Dota 2, even in a video game. I'm seeing people that are saying what happened was okay, in their names in ways that I don't even want to say what their names are.
I'm with you. Like I've been seeing a lot of that too with the swapping around letters for a hate term. You know what I mean?
Well, talking about the young woman who died, specifically and using her name and saying, you know, like good and stuff like that. And so
I saw a guy with her name Heather.
I don't even
remember her name.
No,
she was a good person. Like, she was a good person. But no, they had her name,
Meyer.
And then it was #worth. And it was just like...
I don't even want to go there because honestly, we're pointing a light on something that's really disgusting. But
you're right, though. But no, it's worth talking about because we're seeing... Like, I'm seeing it in the games.
It happened... That is so... So here's the thing. Ideas are dangerous. And I guess you could watch Inception and understand that ideas are dangerous, but ideas are the most dangerous thing for mankind ever since mankind has been mankind. But I mean, they're
also good, you know.
Yeah, everything good has a bad side. Nuclear reactors power most of the country, but they're devastating when you use them in a weaponized form. There's duality to everything.
You're right. It definitely feels weaponized of late.
Yeah, but seeing these names and seeing all this, like, if any of you are listening and know somebody who did that, just let them know that all they're doing is creating more people who may not feel accepted or may not feel
and if you're
like they have a
who's
place.
doing that as a gag or just as a gag in your name, like
you're
really
perpetuating a very real and very serious problem that is causing
it's causing deaths.
It's causing deaths. It's causing horrible divisiveness. And I have a child, and I'm pleading with you to stop doing that because I want him to grow up in a world that doesn't have that. Because guess what? I made it this far in an America that wasn't that way.
Yeah.
My biggest political problems were policy choices. There was never a political climate that was fueled upon hate and fire and fury.
No, and in fact, it's been funny. It's been funny growing up in America and becoming older in America.
We've had it good since we were born.
Yeah, and
as far as
I was gonna say, it makes me feel. It's funny because I always feel bad because especially as a teenager, and even in my early 20s, you're always so passionate about politics.
Oh yeah,
passionate about your ideas.
I was so passionate about McCain losing. I wanted McCain to lose, and now it's like McCain is a stand-up fucking guy.
Well, no, because it's funny. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is I know that we partially contributed to it in our youth because you always get hyperbolic when you talk about.
We were ignorant, and the thing is, our issues were pure policy that. But
you go hyperbolic with it. That's the problem.
You definitely go hyperbolic with it, and some of the policy, you only hate one bit of it. You only hate one little section of that policy where there's 25 things in there. You know what I mean? I think I was with you when I listened to about what is all in the Paris climate deal. And it's lower,
Oh, 90% of the nation, myself included, couldn't tell you every component of the
so we get all hyped up and pissed off, but right now it is not normal. This is this is not normal. It is bleeding into Dota 2. That is how
it's abnormal
it is.
But so I've just been
sickened.
And Valve
honestly.
doesn't give me enough reports because I reported one guy who had one of those types of hateful, racially derogatory names.
It's pretty easy to build an aggregate to stop that.
Well, and exactly, and I just wrote to Valve and I said, isn't it obvious why I'm reporting this guy in my report note? Question mark.
But they don't have enough time. There's not humans that are okay, next report. Let's see what happened here. Okay, let's go through the replay.
Well, then it's time to do something. And don't get me wrong. So, okay, I'll tell this story.
So I always talk about the Gaben Banhammer. And before your story, never have I wanted it more. And I would use it so responsibly. Anybody with that name, anybody that was trying to spread this hate, anybody that was trying to bandwagon onto this bullshit. And I've never said bullshit and meant it more. Putrid is a word for it. Disgusting. Not human, evil. They deserve to not have the freedom of playing Dota 2 and enjoying it.
Yeah, well, that's a privilege.
Yeah, and that privilege should be revoked.
Yes, it should be. I completely agree.
Okay.
So the downside with coming up with any of these types of algorithms that ban out these names, and yes, you'd get rid of a ton of them. But I'll tell the story.
You're going to fuel it probably.
Well, you're going to fuel it, and you're going to fuel a weird creativity. So back when I was still a console gamer, back in my peasantry days, I had a screen name on my Xbox Gold Live account, was with my 360.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it to
say
recognize.
I hate Xbox.
No. Well, I couldn't get it to.
Or I hate Microsoft.
No, it wasn't even like that. So it wasn't that yet.
Oh.
So I can't get it to access my account for some reason. There's a huge issue. So I call them up. I've had this account for 10 years, since the first Xbox, and I've converted it on and on and on. And so I call them up, and it's with an email that doesn't exist anymore. And they're like, "Well, if you can tell us the answer to one of your secret questions, we'll give you access to it again." And they asked me what my favorite, and I at first I thought they were asking what my favorite CD was. And so I'm going through and I'm like, what was my favorite CD 10 years ago as a fucking kid when I created this? And he's like, no, your favorite city. And then I was like, my favorite city? What city is my favorite fucking city? Yeah. So, and I go through this and I'm like, look, I can verify the social security number, the credit card that's on that account. I can verify everything. I'm like, you got to work with me. I'm like, I don't have access to this. I can't, and I want to play Halo online. God damn it! Yeah. Couldn't get him to fucking do anything. So I sat down and I was like, fuck Microsoft. And I canceled everything on that account. I had them cancel the credit card and remove it. I go to create my new Xbox Live account and I'm like, it's going to be, I hate Microsoft. So, or fuck Microsoft or something like that. And so I go to put it in and Microsoft won't let you choose a screen name that says Microsoft. So I go through, I sit there because I'm going to, this is my only way to stick it to the man.
In there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's I hate M1 CR0 S0FT. I hate Microsoft. Was how I managed to do it. And that was the only way that I could get those fuckers, like get that screen name through. But so even with them having that algorithm that wouldn't let me use Microsoft.
Yeah, you'll get creative with it.
You know, you're probably never going to get rid of it, but I agree, like the people that it did get rid of, fucking awesome. Like, let's get as many of them out as we can.
But the problem is if you already feel inclined enough to put something that hateful in your name, you're going to find a creative way to get even more hateful, or just as hateful, just with using zeros or ASCII characters.
Well, for instance, like with names, like with that girl's name and that guy who had her name #worth, like Heather. It's
Heather Meyer.
Heather Meyer. Sorry. So I mean, like that guy. Like, how are you going to? Heather Meyer is meaningless up until that event. You know what I mean? Like, that name isn't something that you're filtering out for right away. And how do you even get the context? Where like, maybe you have somebody who's like, remember Heather Meyer, like who's trying to like promote, like remember her story. Yeah. Are you going to ban that guy? You know, and
I think even that may be bad to a certain degree, because it's just like, you know, it's like, in order to heal a wound, I don't know. It's just.
Well, I'm okay with that guy though.
I don't know.
Remember Heather Meyer guy. I'm not okay with Heather Meyer #worth guy.
Honestly, I don't know. It is Dota, guys. Like, we're talking about Dota. That's the thing. This is bleeding from a live protest into the video game that we love.
It definitely made Dota unenjoyable for me the past couple of days.
Nothing will throw. Like, I abandoned the game, and was just like, no. Like fuckboy 32, you know, like that's funny. Whatever. You're probably 14, and it's funny to say fuckboy,
right?
You know what I mean?
Well, and
whatever.
Right, that's another thing I'm okay with is kids who are like putting fuck in their goddamn username because it's a way of rebelling. I get it, you dummies.
You know, and I probably went on a tirade about that, but now it just got real. Well, you know, and now it's just like that type of hate spreads. Like, I don't know, like the Nelson Mandela quote that Barack Obama sent out, our former president. Like, you know, people, it was the most liked tweet ever, but it was like 5 tweets long, but they only liked the first tweet.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think people are born with hate. I think it's trained. And honestly, I thought of you when I thought of Charlottesville, and not in a bad way. I thought, God damn it, we need more psychologists. We need more psychiatrists. We need like 3 for each of these people, or just an island. Either 3 psychiatrists or an island.
But here's the thing is, and I would direct you to listen to the last Dan Carlin episode of Common Sense.
Oh, I listened to his most recent, the Celtic Holocaust, or Celtic Holocaust.
Because here's the other thing, and here's why I at the top of this show, and I hope anybody who was upset about the discussion at the top of the show is still listening. You know, Dan Carlin talks about, like, you know, if you punch a Nazi, what do you really accomplish in the end? You know, by using the methods or that you dislike about them, like, for instance, ostracizing the racists. Racists want to ostracize people. By ostracizing racists, do you really gain anything, or do you really have
it's my emotional response. It's my emotional response.
But that's what we need to avoid, because that's what's driving this. That's what driving these people in the first place, is this emotional response.
There is one thing that policymakers could do, and that could be take away assault rifles. You know, and I know that's a hot button.
Sure,
dude. People with assault rifles, all it takes is like.
I know, but you can't go down this route. One, it's a bad idea to go down this route anyway. For
people love guns, but
and guns were not necessarily. While they may have made that feel menacing, it's not like there
weren't any shots fired.
Right,
not in Barcelona.
I would like to report and discuss about things. I would like to discuss things accurately.
Yeah,
if we're going to talk about them, I don't want to like go down that route because it's unnecessary and it's.
And don't get me wrong, there was a tragedy more recent in, you know, Barcelona, of course. But
for sure.
This literally hits home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I would advise, if anybody's looking for like some interesting, if you are equally concerned about hate and bigotry and racism, maybe go take a listen to the latest Dan Carlin Common Sense podcast. This will be one of the few times I direct you to listen to other podcasts on the show. But check it out. It's definitely fascinating, and he brings up some really interesting points and perspectives on how we need to be careful in the way that we combat it. I would say the only thing that policymakers could have done is just condemn it and just say, this isn't what we're about. We're not about hating people.
And luckily, the majority did,
and a good chunk, and a decent chunk did.
You would, I thought you wouldn't say the majority.
Get into it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, to once again anchor this point, when I get away from I use Dota to get away from the news, to get away from work, to get away from everything, and
to hone a craft and have fun.
And yeah, it's my hobby, right? And to see my hobby, to see it bleed over into my hobby, deeply, deeply saddens me. And I just hope that my child does not have to live in a world that's like this.
Yeah,
that's it. But my Dota's been fun. I've been playing Monkey King Carry because Proud is spreading the gospel there.
It's gross.
Oh, it's good.
It's way gross.
It's really good.
I took it into a couple of bot matches to experiment first, and he's right. I love the build order. I
don't know the build order. I don't know his build order. That's why I...
Okay, so Treads, Battle Fury, SNY, Desolator, BKB.
SNY is nice. Okay. So you get some MAME, you get that MAME is good in your... Does that work in your ult? Your SNY? It's got to.
It probably does. But
MAME is something people don't notice, but that slows.
Right, and it gives you more hits. And a hero with that attack range, the hardest thing for me to get used to with him was how fucking far back I could stand from a creep and still be fucking getting the last hit.
I think he has more range than TA, or the same range as Templar Assassin.
Yeah, it's gross, his range.
Oh, I'm getting like 65 by 10.
I'm getting to a point where especially once I have the Deso up, if I see 2 or 3 enemy heroes and we're reasonably ahead, I don't even worry about solo engaging. I throw down that stun. I throw down I throw down the boundless. I throw down the stun.
Which does feel boundless.
Yeah, it does.
It's so crazy.
I throw down the ult, and then that Battle Fury, you turn that circle into a killing field. Whereas before, it's like, don't walk over there, you'll get hit twice. It's, I'm taking damage from every direction. It's like
it's chaos. It's a chaos
field.
Circle. Yeah.
There might as well be monkeys standing on the outside, blasting machine guns into the center of that circle.
It's so awesome.
It's stupid good.
And his farm rate is... incredible.
Oh, that's what I was most surprised about. My first game on him, I hit 900 GPM.
By the way, everybody's doing this. When I was streaming my Monkey King Carry, Betamax is doing it because he's like, I think you should do this, and he's like, I don't really give advice on. And I was like, I'll listen to anybody, and he's like, I've been playing it a little bit, like ever since Proud talked about it, and I realized like Proud is pretty good at getting people hyped on builds.
Yeah, and it's dumb good,
and it's good, and it's something that. He definitely, I mean, I don't know if he created it. I doubt he created it because there's just so many people that play it. But he's popularized it for sure amongst our community.
Yeah.
Because when I go into pubs, I'm like, MK carry, and they're like, Monkey King isn't a carry. And I was like, I don't think we can say any hero is anything at this point. With the talents and with gold and with distribution on the map, like,
I'm with you.
I don't think any hero is anything.
I feel like every talent is pretty obvious what you go with on Monkey King past the first one.
It's either evasion or attack speed.
And I think what Proud
evasion or attack speed.
If I'm trying to channel my inner Proud,
I would think he would say attack speed because...
No, I think he'd tell you not to get attack speed because I think what he'd tell you is that's the equivalent of a Glove of Haste, which is a 450 gold item.
You're slot starved.
No, you're going to build attack speed anyway, and you're going to get agi along the way.
What are you building attack speed in? Yasha?
Definitely in Yasha.
What else? Treads and Yasha.
Treads and Yasha, yeah.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Treads give 35, and you can get a natural 20.
Yeah, but here's
not
the deal.
Like a natural 20, but like a natural 20 attack speed.
But no, I think what Proud would tell you is it's a Glove of Haste, which is a 450 gold piece item.
I would say Proud said, "Why are you getting hit? You have so much range."
No.
With evasion,
no.
Why do you need evasion if you're getting
12% evasion is the equivalent of like what's a
15%.
That's what's on
Talisman of
Talisman
Evasion,
a 1400 gold item.
Yeah,
you're getting 1,000 gold item versus a 450 gold item.
I would be, and Proud will probably listen and weigh in, and I can't wait to.
I think he would. Tell us that.
Proud would also.
I haven't talked to him about the talents, and I haven't listened to.
Just from knowing Proud, I think he would say, why are you getting hit? You should be like in the trees,
No,
or you should,
No, I'm telling you, I've talked to them enough about the attack speed talents in the past that like I feel like 90% sure that I'm channeling Proud.
But
the right
Jingu and attack speed are like super synergistic.
I know, but like the evasion is still tank, and more often than not,
it's EHP.
What the higher the higher skill players are favoring those EHP talents over, like they're favoring armor and health over damage. And
well, you always
speed.
take health,
right? But
because you don't really get it in much things.
More or less health.
Yeah. I'd be curious what Proud builds at level 10, because the attack speed is like sweet, but a lot of the things like Sniper, when it's like you're out of mana at level 10 and it's like, I'm going to take 5 mana regen or whatever it is, and then you're full mana for the rest of the game, and it's like, that was stupid. I should have taken I think it's an attack speed talent as well at level 10 for Sniper. Or it's damage. Maybe. It's like attack speed or damage, but yeah, no, and it's the wrong thing to take. But
so I think the attack speed, I really think, and I'd love for him to weigh in. We should have asked him in that meeting earlier.
Yeah.
Because we had talked about it before the meeting, but yeah,
he'll correct us on the proper talents to go, because there's the plus 75 Jingu damage or 250 health, and then there's, or maybe it's 200 health. Then there's plus 40 damage or plus.
Here, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real quick.
There's plus 40 damage. Okay.
Yeah, because I am with you. Talents are so
they're cool. They seem pretty obvious. Like the 40 damage seems obvious, especially when you have the Battle Fury. Like, okay, yeah, I want the damage. Opposed to, I think it's 20% spell resist or 40 damage at level 20, and then at level 15 it's 75 Jingu.
10 is 20 attack speed or 12% evasion.
Yep.
15 is 75 Jingu damage or 275 health.
Yep.
20 is 20% magic resistance or 40 damage.
Yep.
And then 25 is 100% plus 100% boundless strike
or
crit
25 strength. I take 25 strength every time.
See, and I take the boundless strike crit.
Oh, 25 strength, dude. That's 400. That's 500 health. That is 500 health. There's like, I don't. At that point, at level 25, I shouldn't be worrying about damage on Monkey King. You know, I should be worrying about surviving.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody, the pick percentage on it's pretty crazy. It's 85% pick the 100% boundless strike crit.
What's the win rate?
1.6% win rate advantage.
Really?
And that's a huge.
Wow, yeah, that is pretty big. But I just think of it as like, so long as I'm alive, like I'm gonna be, I'm going to be dishing more damage.
I do pick up the magic resistance when I
picked,
have to.
Against Storm Spirit, I picked it up.
Yeah, see, like I did against the Storm Spirit once as well.
Because you got then I have 50 or 45%, spell.
I did against a Necro once.
That's smart. Yeah, that's smart.
Just because that was the only lockdown I was really afraid of.
I love Monkey King. My very first game of Monkey King was in safe lane. I did very poorly, but I did build a Battle Fury. And so I want to be like, I did that. But no, I just thought it was an Agi hero and it went safe lane.
Yeah.
And then you saw Jerax playing it as a 4, and then you saw Zai start playing it as a 4, and then you're like, oh no, he's a 4 because he can pop around on trees and stuff.
Yeah, and he can set things up.
But then you realize, that's just farming efficiency.
Well, the reason they were playing him as a 4, and I swear I've heard Proud Nursey talk about this as well.
The Basher. Others. It's just a Basher.
It was the Basher thing. But now that the Basher's not there, and it's not like this intermittent like Tidehunter ult that you're creating.
It basically is a circular Tidehunter ult that lasts 13 seconds.
Right.
Yeah.
With mini Bashers happening all throughout that thing.
Well, not mini Bashes. Bashes.
Bashes.
Yeah, Bashes. Straight up like, gong.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
So, I mean, but just the Battle Fury with it is dumb.
I love Battle Fury MKB because
a patch came out today, but they didn't nerf that, so it's still there.
Oh, a patch came out, huh?
Yeah.
Are they going to record a patch show?
No, I mean, no. I'm sure it would have been up to you and me.
Who?
6 point.
Dota 7.06F.
Yeah. It's pretty minor.
So basically, look at Mask of Madness, look at Helmet Dominator, look at Force Staff. The cast range reduced from 800 to 750. It's the patch of minor changes is what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
it looks like some talents were changed.
They took away the mini stun on Lich's ult.
That's good.
I don't know.
This Lion, I just randomly scrolled to Lion. Level 20 talent change from plus 8% spell amp to just 300 finger of death damage, plus 300 finger of death damage. So great. He's going to be dealing like, he'll just 100 to 0 you. Prophet got slower. Sprout, Flying Vision reduced.
They nerfed Lycan Hell.
Ooh, of course they nerfed Lycan. they made Wyvern a little better. That makes sense. Bloodseeker, Rupture Mana cost increased. Good. Hate you, Bloodseeker. Ancient Apparition, I think that's fair.
They give Tiny a buff, trying to get him back in. Did you read that article on Dota Buff about the heroes that didn't get picked?
Yeah, Tiny didn't get picked.
Tiny didn't. Bane didn't. Who are the others?
I don't know. I know Tiny and Bane, and I only know Bane because of you. I just know that Tiny didn't get picked.
Yeah, I mean...
Because, I mean, even Proud has been preaching for a long time that Tiny sucks.
Yeah.
But
so the heroes that didn't get picked: Bane, Lion,
wow,
Spectre.
Wow. Well, Spectre takes too long. It feels like too fighty.
It is. It's too fighty. And then Wraith King
takes too long.
No, I think Wraith King's not getting picked just because he's overall weak. I don't think. I don't think it's a takes too long thing. I think pros know how to deal with it.
He has a stun, and I guess Diffusal is a pretty popular item, and Necrobook is pretty popular, and he's single target.
There's other heroes that do similar things that
do similar things
just doing better. Yeah.
Well, the patch of minor consequence. I'm sure
you'll see a patch notes episode come out from us at some point.
No mini stun on Lichel. That's pretty damn harsh. Like that's the top voted comment. Yeah, that's probably the biggest change here.
Yeah, that is really shitty.
People used to pick Lich occasionally to counter Enigma for the mini stun with the Chain Frost, and now no longer. So be aware. Can we get out a little early today, boss?
Yeah, we've talked too much politics, and I'm sure we left a bad taste in somebody's mouth. No, you know what? I'm okay with a political discussion as far as
I'm not sorry about what I said.
Like, there's a solid line that can be drawn where it's like everybody should be okay with us saying, "Sorry, racism blows."
Yeah, no. If you're not okay with us condemning racism and Klansmen and neo-Nazis, then you found the wrong people to listen to. So,
and I do agree that like it bled over into Dota in a very interesting way, and like it's funny that you've been
interesting
noticing that.
In a gross way.
Yeah, no, I just mean in a noteworthy way. Yeah. But because I feel like I've been seeing that since we got back from TI, and I know that it's always been there in Dota, and I know I've always
and there's always been racist shit. But the thing is, now it means more. Like I hate to say that because it always has been horribly bad.
Yeah.
But right now it's riling up this group that is riled up.
It's not even that it means more, it's just that it feels more pronounced. And
yeah, I guess that
shitty.
puts it better.
And
that
it's
puts
shitty.
It way better. Yeah, it is really shitty.
Apologies for the political discussion. If it offended you, definitely check out
we talked about Dota. We really did.
Yeah.
Because that did bleed into my Dota experience, and it definitely left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I don't have any reports, I'll tell you that much. And I definitely I wanted to just type out paragraphs and paragraphs about how much I hate this person for their name being that. But I realized there's no point. Yeah. I'm not going to change anybody's mind.
No. Not on Dota.
No, I mean, not even if
and it were not over the internet, probably.
I feel like that's where flogging comes in. I feel like that may be the only way.
No, you see, and that's not the way to go either. Listen to that Dan Carlin episode.
Oh man,
give it a go.
It's just the emotion. It's the emotional response. You know.
Yeah, yeah. We got to avoid
and that. Trust me, I'd kind of like to do worse than flogging.
I know,
but yeah,
we got to avoid the emotional response. We got to be better than the other side.
Yep.
So we're gonna try to keep being better around here at .p. Love all you guys. Again, I'm going to just echo Roland's comments from the start of this. It was fun seeing everybody at TI. Sorry if we offended you with anything political here. I hope we didn't. And I hope that everything we said was generic enough that it shouldn't offend. Although maybe not.
With what I said?
Yeah, who knows what today's climb. Anyway, I don't want to do it again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are going to go do something that nobody should be upset about, and that is watch Game of Thrones, episode 6. We only got 2 more after this. I'm really... Have you caught up on it?
Oh, yeah.
Were you disappointed in the season at all?
No.
I am a little.
Oh, no. I know what you're disappointed about, but that would be a horrible crime to talk about.
Yeah, but no, I don't think... no, mine can be very generally and spoilery discussed.
No.
Pacing. Pacing is god awful in this particular season. I know that it's a byproduct of limited time and having to hit major bullet points and fewer episodes in each season, but the pacing
I knew that would be
doesn't feel like Game of Thrones.
Well, we've had very slow pacing.
And some of the ideas that have been presented in the show
Okay.
are just stupid.
Okay, dude. The longer you go on, the more you ruin. Just come on.
Not ruining anything.
Close us out.
Some stupid ideas.
Find us at discord.gg/.p. And really, that's the only plug you need right now.
Yeah.
We're 4 reviews away from having 100 on iTunes. So if you guys want to leave a review on iTunes, that would be awesome. Here, let me read our most recent one.
We have another one?
Yeah.
From the one that we did last week?
I believe so. Yes. I believe we do. Give me one moment.
Okay. Of course, so we're having some website issues. It's redirecting to the old one if you just type in defenseofthepatients.com. But if you type in www.defenseofthepatients.com, you can find us
some
still.
dumb issues going on, but we're getting them fixed. Did you read? Did we read rather? From Steve Invictus.
I know that sounds new to me.
It's pretty simple. It's just but super nice. Great show. An amazing Dota 2 podcast. Love the hosts and diversity. Welp.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And speaking of diversity and hosts, we're gonna be adding. a little more.
Did you read the one from Jen Giraffe?
No, I didn't read a Jen Giraffe.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so something for everyone. Jen Giraffe, from the deepest, darkest depths of theory crafting to super chill, casual Dota talk. These guys cover all the bases. There is a different type of show released during the week that anyone can get into. Love the hosts. They're extremely genuine guys. Feel like you're just a group of friends talking about a passion for the dotes. Keep up the hard work, and thank you for creating such an awesome community. We didn't create the community, you guys did.
Yep.
So thank yourself, Jen, and thank you for leaving a review. We're 4 away from having 100.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Help us get to 100. That'd be a blast. Whether they're good or bad, we'll read them.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be back. I assume we'll do something mini patch notes related at some point, or Ursi and Proud will probably tackle it on Theorycraft. So
yeah, they'll go over the big stuff. So
should I finish up with the speaking of diversity thing you want to talk about? How we're expanding the show host thing?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that should have been at the start. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting back into the educational content.
Proudland-esque, but it's not going to be called Proudland.
We're partnering with a couple of the gals from Deso Ladies. B-Dub and Leafy Peachy are going to be joining us for a rotating cast of students and teachers on we're tentatively going with like Teaching Tuesdays or something.
We don't know the name yet, but look for it. Not this week, but next week will be our first episode. The first episode will be myself, Proud, and B-Dub. B-Dub does all the graphic design work for Defense of the Patients. We talk about her all the time. Now you will actually get to meet her.
Yeah, really looking forward to you guys getting a chance to meet B-Dub because she's an awesome person.
Yeah. And then
so is
Leafy. And Leafy's awesome too. And I think that episode will be comprised of Ursinity, Cyphus, and Leafy Peachy.
Yeah.
And then
otherwise known as the Good Trio.
The Good Trio. So we just wanted to have the first episode come back and have it feel...
Poor B-Dub. I just realized what she's saying for.
She's so nice.
With you and Proud. Poor B-Dub.
Well, the thing is I mean, it's going to be... I'm going to have to be better than I've ever been before. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to be, like, you know, I need to stop with my evil ways. I don't even mean to, honestly, but I can do better at cutting
I'm excited
people
to
off.
I have women Dota 2 players on the show, and it was like an element that we've talked about forever and been missing. It's going to be great to have that.
It's not even. I don't even the gender thing. Whatever. It's
no,
more.
But it's good to have multiple
for sure.
perspectives.
It's just they're good people.
I know. Yeah.
And Ti concreted that, right? Yeah. Getting to meet them.
All the Deso ladies.
Every Deso lady I met was awesome.
Yeah.
So.
And thanks to you guys,
I got to sing an awesome duet, and as you know,
we talked about it last week.
I know.
We need to reach out to her and have her come do some parody work with us.
Yes. Indeed.
All right, that's going to be it, folks. Stay tuned for that new series to start up sometime next week. Of course, this Thursday, Theorycraft Thursday with Proud Nursey, and Breaky will be back Friday with the Dot Pro Show. Until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland saying good luck.